Всем привет! Hello everybody! Here we have a map of Vitebsk, the city in which I live, and today we're going to do the best of the rest tour. In other words, part 2 of our look around the city of Vitebsk. This seems like as good a place as any to start it. So here we are in the city square. I think it's looking a little bit underwhelming at the moment. Yes, she's pretty empty. We're coming into winter now. Today's a beautiful day, but here there's usually a stage and all sorts of equipment set up. They have lots of festivals and community gatherings, but as winter is approaching, it's time to batten down the hatches. So not a great deal here at the moment. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's go and have a look. Walked across the square to one of my favourite features of the city. Pretty simple, but geez, they're bloody handy, and that is the pedestrian underpasses. Makes life so much easier. You can go to any of the 4 points. You can also pop up in the middle because there's a tramway running down the middle. So you can get to anywhere without having to cross the road, without having to wait. And obviously, certainly in the nasty weather, it should be pretty good. However, if I was in a wheelchair, I reckon that ramp might be pretty slippery in winter when it starts to get a bit wet. But there you go. Hello, cat. They seem to like cat and music themes here. There's a lot of these tables or chairs set up. Oh, love another theme. We've got our musician lights here, our bass player, and another obligatory cat. Well, there's quite a few of these themed seats around the city. Look quite good. I like them. Now we're going to head up to the train station. Well, they certainly love an impressive train station in the Slavic world. I took some video inside, but I'm not sure what's allowed, so just a little bit of caution, a little bit of care. Well, got the beautiful Vokzal or train station behind me, and opposite is probably one of the most beautiful streets in the whole city. Nice 5-story high classic buildings with a big centerline garden down the middle. And check out this archway. Looks like Jesus up the top there, I'm not sure why. It's cars always get in the road at the worst moment in time. Let's have a look here. This archway was actually awarded to the city. Look here. This archway was actually awarded to the city on the 28th of August 1974 for outstanding city development. And it was awarded by the Soviet Union, of course, because this was part of the Soviet Union in 1974. We can see here big CCCP, which translates as SSSR, because we would know it in English. And of course, here it is again, our classic hammer and sickle in the middle. But beautiful archway. They quite often use this street for festivals as well. Have the little marquee tents all down the middle here with your food and your normal crap you find at all those sort of shows. But, the street's lined with some of the higher end shops and restaurants, cafes. I actually tried to buy an apartment here one of these upper levels. Although the facades look really, really good and they're really, really well maintained to create a beautiful streetscape, when you actually get inside them and have a look at these apartments, a lot of them are not maintained at all. So I couldn't find one that was a reasonable compromise between price and state of repair, shall we say. So hence we didn't end up buying one here, but not to worry. The apartment we did buy is still pretty good. Here's an interesting statue up here. Not sure if it's a love story or a tragedy. I guess it'll depend on your personal disposition. Have a look here. Oh, there he is. He's down on his knees. He's got the flowers. I think he's going to commit, but who can be sure? Anyway, let's leave the lovebirds behind and let's continue to have a look through the city. This is your, I guess, traditional wooden style Russian Orthodox church. I don't think it survived World War II. I think it's a replica. But anyway, it gives you an idea of what your traditional old church was. Then we have one slightly newer coming into view here, and then we have the consecrated church bells, the bells that have been declared sacred. What that means, I don't know. Oh, what's this? Let's have a look here. I'll have to translate that later for you. It's too much for me. I can't do it on the spot. Here we have the main river running through town. I probably should have filmed this a month ago when everybody was still on summer holidays, because here on the banks of the river they have a big pop-up park with all the rides and festival activities. Reminds me a bit of Moomba in Melbourne, but obviously on a slightly smaller scale. Oh wow, here's some people with a real job. Can you see them on the hill up there? They are sweeping up the leaves. Have a look at the trees here. I think they've got a few days of work in front of them for the next few weeks, that's for sure. But that's what you find here in Belarus. Everything is immaculate. Everything is super clean and always looked after. Climbing the staircase here in the park, and as I've mentioned earlier, all the stairways, shiny marble, either side of us, all the way to the top. No expense spared. Very beautiful. And there's our leaf rakers over there. Poor buggers. This part of the city here along the river foreshore is where you find the greatest abundance of war memorials. This one here. This one's to the paratroopers. Someone's put some wreaths here recently. See the symbols. And here's our paratrooper man behind us. So the actual sculpture is meant to represent a parachute, obviously. Very nicely done. They should have been nicer to those leaf raking people. Looks like they've been here earlier. I can see plenty of signs of their handiwork, but they already need to come back and rake again though, by the looks of it. It is raining leaves now. This is the avenue of military machinery honour, or something to that effect. I think my translation's a bit rough, but you get the idea when I turn the camera around here. Plenty of tanks and serious artillery on display. Each of them has a description panel telling you what it is. Here's one here. That was a 76mm cannon, and gives you a history and how and when it was used. But once again, as always, you're struck by how clean and pristine they're all kept. But certainly plenty of them here to look at. But it's just not the guns, there's also aircraft and helicopters just over here. With the sun shining through the golden trees today, the park's certainly looking at its very best. I picked the right day. Good work, Timmy. Standing here in the middle of the, I guess the reflection ponds. This is the main memorial area here in Vitebsk to all those that have died in the many wars this place has been part of. And behind me is the 3 spear monument. This thing is huge. Let's have a look. You can see cast into the concrete are the faces of soldiers, both in battle and in grief. And at the very base of the 3 piers is the eternal flame, just like we have burning in Australia. And here there are always fresh flowers, etc. Whenever you come through here, they've always been replaced regularly. And up here embossed into the center opening is Regoyam Slava, which basically means Slavic heroes. Well, as I sit here in the beautiful autumn sunshine watching the leaf rakers go to work, that's probably a good place to conclude our best of the rest tour of Vitebsk. Hope you're having a good day. Catch you soon.